Hi guys, today we are going to talk about something that I brought up a few videos back, probably almost a year ago, and it's this, and I showed you how to make this, and it's a colour swatch traveler's notebook. So I wanted to make a traveler's notebook specifically that I could either take to the art shop or reference before I go to the art shop or something like that to make sure that I don't get duplicates of the same colours, because sometimes, you know, you go there and you're always kind of drawn to the same colour palette, so you're not quite sure if you've already got that. So I thought this would be a handy thing to be able to take. And you can see in the back here I've just got some colour swatch cards, and I also like referencing these. So I got these when I was thinking of painting some furniture, but I like to keep them in the back here and reference, you know, those. And you'll see kind of throughout the video there is kind of a theme of the purples and the greens and then the pinks and the powder blues. But anyway, so I created this traveler's notebook. Now you don't have to have it in a traveler's notebook. You could just get a certain book that you want to use for the colour swatches that you can take to the art shop, or even when you're ordering things online, like from Jackson's Art or Jerry's Artarama or something like that, it's nice to have those handy. And, you know, for a whole bunch of different reasons, you often, you know, might want to look up the colours or something like that. So I really enjoy this, and what I've actually done is created some inserts on Illustrator that will be available probably next week. I've still got to tweak the measurements and things, but hopefully these will be in my shop next week. So I'm just kind of showing you here. This is a B6 size. So I wanted to create something with the old style vintage labels and with a grey border so that it doesn't kind of take away, it's just a neutral border, it doesn't take away from the colour. And you can just write sort of the name, the brand, or the number of the, art supply. So I'm going to show you today how I'm using it for pencils. And here's one that I'm working on for a standard traveler's notebook. So I think I show you one here that I've already pre-folded. I haven't actually finished. So you've got to do the design in the reverse, you know, to make it double-sided. And you can see here, so the B6, you've got to trim off the edges of the page, and then and then fold those up, and then they can create a little booklet. And then similarly for this size, you would just fold it up and you'll have an extra flap. So I really enjoy these kind of interactive, inserts where you can open extra flaps and things like that. So I'm creating that one for a standard traveler's notebook, and it's got less, colour swatch samples on each page, but I think I'm making another one that's got like more, but they're just smaller. And so you can create these as loose leaf books as well. Like I'm kind of leaving them loose. I'm not even binding them, just putting them behind the elastic. Or like that one page, I'm just going to stick that inside that TN so that I can reference that pretty quickly. Probably with some of my favourite golds. I think I might show that in the end, but so today we're just going to go through this, and I'm going to rearrange my desk here and we will jump into that. The other thing I wanted to show you is these burnishing, so they're the Derwent blender and burnishes. So I also got these large credit colours, which I like, but the Derwent blender and burnishes, which are sort of sitting on the pencil tray there, I'm going to show you those in a new video. I absolutely love those, and particularly the blender is really, really amazing with the coloured pencils. So I'll show you that in a new video, but you can see again here the purple and the sort of mint greens and sage greens, which I got some of these for my birthday. So that colour palette sort of keeps coming up a lot. I think the sort of amethyst purple colours come from my mum. They're her favourite sort of colour palette, and then My sister loves the mint green, so I guess it's kind of a blend of their favourites, but I really, really love it. And so then here are the 3 inserts that will be available. So this is just a whole yearly calendar on one page. So you can put this in, you could put it on an elastic and sort of jump band it into your traveler's notebook, or you can just tuck it in. I think I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I really love the idea of having the whole year on one page, and you can either write appointments throughout the year, birthdays. You can just write just one word a day, or write one sticker a day, sort of depending, just a little snippet of how the day went or how you felt that day. You might use it, to track something, or the columns are also 1.5, or they're the right amount of inches to take the stickers for the Erin Condren, is what I'm trying to say. So sometimes the weekly sticker kit come with an extra box, and you can fit those in there as well if you wanted to just fill up the month with that. But I just really love the idea of having that the full year on a page anyway. So I realise that we're in February, but I'm hoping to kind of backtrack a little bit. I had wanted to get these out actually in the beginning of January, but I just haven't. I was having a hard time kind of figuring it all out with the measurements and things like it. It's all sort of good, but when you try and print it out and actually use it and flip it, it's a bit trickier. So I've been trying to figure that out. But I think that a lot of the colour swatch ones will go into this. So this is the Paper Geek Co. Waxed Lavender, and so I think I'm going to put a lot of the these ink ones and the colour ones in here. So this is an ink one that's coming out as well, and I started using this morning, and I'll just try and insert a little snippet here. So you can see kind of here how I've used it a bit, and I'll do another video and go into exactly kind of how I'm using each box and what I'm doing with it. And I'm going to have it available like in 2 ways. So one will be this way, where you've got a double page, double-sided with just a blank flap on the side, and then you can use that for scribbles, for kind of jotting down what's currently inked, or how the ink looks, in different pens or things like that. And so I think these are going to be really nice as well. And I'm not sure, hopefully these will be in the shop by Monday, and I'm thinking that possibly by the end of next week I might have some physical ones of these in the shop. So you can see here's like a trifold where you get sort of smaller boxes on the sort of middle and last flap, and then the true size, but they're not really, they're not too much smaller to make a huge difference there, but it's just so that you can actually use the trifold, and make a little booklet there out of that. So, and then you get more, colour swatches on those pages if that's what you want. For example, the trifold holds 18 colour swatches back and front, and the other one holds 12. So I think that's right, 12. So and you can see you can interchange them as well. Like I will probably make a book and have both types within the book. And again, you can just put these so that they're, usable or interchangeable, or you can pull one out if you need to reference it. You can just slide them all into a travel's notebook band. You don't have to actually bind them at all if you don't want to. But I'm pretty excited about these. It's taken me a little bit longer than I wanted to sort of get them all organised, and they're still not quite, like it's taken quite a while to sort of figure out how to make it all work and in a usable format and everything like that. But and then you've got to sort of go back and keep tweaking the measurements till I want them, sort of really nice. So I hopefully will have that already by Monday. And I'm also using here the cotton, is it the cotton Strathford paper? You can get it for $10 at Walmart, and it's the 24 pound, so it's the thinner one. But you can also get the 32 pound on Amazon. I think it's like $22 or something like that. But you might want to print them on, you know, Tomoe River paper or Clairefontaine paper or something else that you like to swatch on, or write on, and you want to swatch them on that, which would work really well. So I think I'm going to use, I was trying to figure out which pen to use on here, whether the Uni Pen or the Staedtler Fineliner, and I go with the Staedtler Fineliner in the light grey. So it takes me a while to figure everything out. So I was trying to figure out what the best way to do this was, you know, and obviously breaking it up by colour, but I'm going to leave some spaces in there where I know that there's holes in my, you know, palette here. So like I need some deeper reds, and like towards sort of burgundies or cranberries. So I'm going to leave that open at the top and then start swatching all the colours. So I just pull out colour by colour, you know, each colour family, and then sort of put those in the order that I think they go in, and then start swatching. So I just put down the colour, and then you can swatch things in a whole different bunch of ways. I'm just doing kind of a sort of a gradient blend. And then I just write, you know, whatever information is easiest for me to find. So if I can't see the number straight up, or if, you know, I'm not sure what, you know, anything is, I just leave that out and I just write in what's easiest. Like, for example, some of the pencils have 3 numbers and then a slash and then, you know, a couple more numbers, or they have a dash or something. So I wasn't sure which was the number of the actual pencil and which was maybe the number of the line of pencils or something. So I just left that out, but you can see there by the names. So I just basically keep doing this throughout all the pencils, and I speed some of it up and I leave some of it out as well, so that we're not here all day. I've wanted to do this video for a while, but I was just sort of hesitant on this part of it. It's actually lucky because I did it yesterday morning when it was nice and sunny, and today is a really foggy day as well again, but which works out for just doing a voiceover. So it looks really sunny in the video and I'm sitting here and it's really dark outside, but it is, so you can see here, like I've got quite a lot of pinks, and one of the things, and I just eyeball it and put them in, you know, where I thought they would go. But what I found when I got to, like, I think it's the purples, and I wasn't really happy with the way that they swatched when I just looked at it. So I think I will show you, but you just want to do, if you're kind of worried about it going, you know, in a really nice sort of gradient there of colour, you just do some little tiny swatches and make sure that they're in the exact way that you sort of want them to go. And you can see here I've just done some actual ink swatches on here, and I'm just going to keep this in my traveler's notebook as well, just to reference like the different gold inks or, you know, pearlescent inks that I like to use if I, you know, whatever I think would work for a specific project. Like, for example, the other day I was doing something and I realized that after I'd done it, that a different ink would have worked better with the color scheme. So I just want that there as a reference for that reason. And I'm also showing you here that none of the, or I think a couple of these got swatched, but most of those didn't get swatched, but they are in a different video. And I just used, to put the inks on there, I just used cotton tips, you know, Q-tips, so that, like, because you don't want the water to contaminate the sample at full strength, you know, from a paintbrush when you've got to rinse it off after each time. So I just wanted it as a full strength sample. So again, it's going to depend, sort of a personal choice on what, you know, papers you'd like to use to do colour swatches. So I know we do have another paper that's quite thick and quite smooth, but I mean, you can use things that you think either the colour will show up on, you know, you might be worried about bleed through. You can see here, like the inks that I tried to swatch here did bleed through, so you know, I'll probably have to use a different type of paper for them, or maybe cover up the back side of the paper. So we're just going to do a little flip through of the colours. I think I will kind of try and show them as best I can here. If you do have any questions, just let me know. And then I've also just put like some wax paper, or it's just like a little bit of parchment, some sort of parchment paper between each page, because I've used some pastel or chalk pencils, and you know, some of that will come off, so I didn't want to contaminate, you know, each side of the sample, so I've just put that in there. The other thing is, if to help get the sort of swatches a little bit clearer, you can put it into high definition. So, you know, the video on YouTube, you can put it into high definition. So you just click the three dots on the top right hand side of the video, and then just playback settings, and then you just put it to 720. It's probably on 360. And then it should go into high definition, and you should be able to read everything quite, you know, fairly clearly. You might have to like snip it and blow it up as well. And so I'll show you here in a minute, after I did the purple page and I wasn't that happy with the colour gradation, I then did little swatches, and you can see it's just like a little scribble just to check the colour there. So here's the swatches for the other 12 pencils as well that I didn't swatch. I just actually really enjoyed doing this around a page, just doing some little colour swatches. So I've done these in my planner just to check what the colours will look like in there, because that's kind of the palette that I'm taking to, you know, use with my planner. And here I've just swatched out the sort of half of those colours, the sort of purples and the sage sort of mint greens, and I'm just swatching them next to the colours, the pastels that I got from the art shop last week, just to kind of see this Sennelier one side of it is really hard, and it wasn't coming off, so I just turned the camera off because I couldn't figure out what was the matter with it. I just tipped it upside down and it seems to work. You can see here like how creamy they should be. So you can see here I am pretty happy with this sort of colour palette, and I just keep being drawn to it, I guess. Like I had it in the pencils, and when I was getting the pastels I didn't even realise that. So yeah, really loving this colour palette. And then in a second I will show you I went to like a needlepoint shop that's close to me, and just to see what they have. My favourites are like the gum nut yarns, but I wanted to just see if there was something close that I could kind of just grab on my way to the shops. And it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I still love my gum nut yarns, but I did find these, and you can see like they're the powder blues and pinks. That's kind of what I picked up. So anyway, that is the end of the video for today, guys. I will be back as soon as I can. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.